Hola, mi gente. Cynthia, I saw what you said. Are we starting on island time? Apparently, yes. I'm a little late, but I got notes, and we jumping right into it. Hola, mi gente. Welcome to On the Block with Jen. And today, we got such a juicy show, right? Now, with that said, I heard online there's a lot going on that's more important than Jada and Will, right? And I totally agree, but we're going to sip this tea while it's hot, and tomorrow we could get back to the race wars and how much we hate each other. Right now, this is comedian Carlos Anthony, my guest for today. You guys know this guy, right? And it was very important for me to have a male perspective. Although, gentlemen, I think you're going to be surprised by my point of view regarding Jada and Will. I think you're going to be surprised, right?
You throwing a plot twist already?
It's a plot twist because, well, I like to, I pride myself on being a fair person and trying to take myself out of things emotionally and just being black and white, right?
Okay.
Like, it's like, okay, this is what it is. What if the tables were turned, right? Okay, so here we go. And I got my notes because there's a lot to unpack. The Red Table Talk with Jada and Will, if you missed it, is 12 minutes long. And it's Jada basically coming clean about having an affair with August Alsina. Some people will say, well, it's not an affair because they were legally separated or they were separated or whatever. I don't know, right? There's no such thing as what?
Oh, you legally separated. No, the motherfuckers was in two different parts of the house. They were still living in the same goddamn house.
Yeah, but if they had a little come to Jesus or come to devil meeting and said, listen, we're going to separate, which is what Will said on the Red Table Talk.
He said that.
Right? So I would say, all right, you guys are legally separated.
Okay. We'll go with that for now.
We could go with that. But there's some people that are very strict about marriage. And they're like, no, if you're still married en papel, you're still married, right?
That's a fact.
Some people will be like, no, it's still an affair, right?
That's
some people are like, they was legally separated, right? And I know what some of you are thinking, that's their business. All of this is their business. No, okay, it's our business. All right, Jada put it on, you know what I mean, her national platform. And
well, she had to. She had to because
she didn't have to.
Because August came out about it, and now it becomes a hot story. So she had to say something. At this point, it was one of those situations where they've been quiet on other situations in their life before as to if they're swingers or if they're not and other little stories. But this was one that, for this point in time, they had to say something. She had to say something. So here we are.
Okay. I'm going to, all right. The words have to bother me, but I'm going to let you have it.
Well, I mean, okay. Well, let's put it this way: she didn't have to, and she could have kept getting dragged on the internet, which is people getting their feelings whether they accept it or not on the internet about stuff that happens on the internet. It happens. People get into their feelings. So this was a feelings moment, and so you're not only being called out by a dude who's saying and claiming to still love you in some shape, form, or fashion. And now that y'all had some sort of affair, and now that you initially said that you denied it, nothing happened. So yeah, no, you had to say something.
Oh, okay. So let's jump into what my issues are, because I always have some issues.
Well, go right ahead.
So let me jump into what my issues are with Jada. Right? We're gonna all pretend today that this is everybody's business, right? So the word that's trending is entanglement. And the reason why the word entanglement is trending is because Jada could not form the words out of her mouth. I had an affair, or I had an extramarital sexual relationship. She could, for some reason, Jada couldn't, Miss Red Table Talk. Okay, Miss Red Table Talk could not get the words out of her mouth. Yeah, I was fucking them. I was fucking him.
At that point, why not admit it? We're here. We're at your table.
So now everybody, all the while, no one was cheating on you. They were entangled.
That's gonna be the new word. Everybody,
they were
like
entangled.
I said, I just posted it not too long with a lot of motherfuckers entanglements.
Right.
And we didn't even realize that's what you called it. You are now officially have a word for it. You are in an entanglement.
Right, it's an entanglement. It wasn't an affair, it was an entanglement. Now, what I like that Will Smith did was he didn't let her get away with dancing around it. I was very impressed because he was like, okay, this is my red table talk now. And he was making her speak. He didn't let her get away with the, the cute words that she wanted to put in place of, yeah, I was talking to somebody or I had an affair. And I was really surprised because Jada claims to be so open and so deep and such a good communicator, and yet the words just could not. I was fucking them. It was an affair. They couldn't. It's like,
It's so easy when the dart is not headed in your direction. So she's always throwing the dart at somebody else and trying to pick them apart on her red table talk. Now you're the center of attention here, and it's on you. So go ahead and take this dart and get that up off your throat. Get it up out. Come on, let it out. It feels good once you get it out. Once you get it out there, it's over. It's over and done with. But she was struggling to say it.
Struggling.
So, I mean, that was funny as a comedian. That was funny to me because I was like, this woman just will not acknowledge that she had an affair or that in the course of her marriage, because they were married, that she had a sexual relationship with someone else. That's it. She could have said that and it would have been over and done with. Now we move on to what happens from here. So,
so let me tell you what my biggest issue is. And this has happened to me before in my life. This is what really, really upset me. Yes, it actually upset me. This is what upset me about the situation, right? Both Jada and Will admitted that they took August Alsina in, right? They took him in because he was a very troubled young man. And when I say young man, he's a baby to me. I'm in my 40s. Anybody under 30 is like, oh my God. You know what I mean? I'm thinking about my nieces and nephews. I see them like, my babies, right? August Alsina was in his early 20s, right? He came from a very, you probably don't know anything about this man or his story, but he comes from a very broken, dysfunctional home. He's trying to raise, who's he trying to raise? His siblings or? Okay, his nieces, because their mom was what? Okay, so my daughter's back there. She knows the scoop too. Okay, so basically August Alsina is raising some of his nieces because his sister died of cancer, right? So he's dealing with that. He was also heavily on drugs, also suffered from severe depression. So Jada and Will admitted that they took this young, broken little bird in, right? To help them because the Smiths are wealthy and they're intelligent people and, they were in a position. I mean, August went on family vacations with them, had dinners with them, spent time with their children who were the same age. Right? So the issue I had with Jada was she gave us the Halle Berry, make me feel good, right?
She did.
She said, I just wanted to feel good, right? So this is Jada Pinkett Smith. When I tell you this woman has the pick of the litter, she could have jumped on a fucking private plane to the Bahamas and got herself umbaku. That nobody would have known, okay? Got her back blown out. He would have made her feel good. And then she could have came back home. But what she did was, in my opinion, was she preyed on someone who was already broken and vulnerable. But she started as, I'm going to help you. And I think it's trifling. And this happened to me before. I think it's fucking trifling. This is why I was upset. Because we've all been really, really down. Right. And when you're really, really down and you're at rock bottom and someone swoops in to help you or to save you, right? You're looking to that person as a mentor and as a way out and as a way up, right? And all the while, if this person is trying to fuck you or thinking about fucking you or planning on fucking you, that to me is fucking trifling. That is trifling. And as a woman who was twice the age of that boy, I say, Jada Pinkett, you're full of shit. And your red table talk has exploded.
Let me ask you this, and I'm just going to play devil's advocate. Isn't the proximity, doesn't it play a factor in this situation if she's claiming, we know what his situation was. If she's claiming that in the midst of his situation, August Alsina's situation, her and Will are dealing with the situation as well, that put them in a legal separation. Right. Now all of a sudden she's down. Do you think proximity had anything to do with it? He's the closest. August would have been the closest thing to her. versus her preying on him?
Okay, I can answer that. Te oí, un momento.
Okay, unos momentos.
Okay, so absolutely, the majority of affairs, as we all know, right? We're no dummies. We're all adults here. The majority of affairs result because of proximity.
Of course.
Right? People work together. People live in the same building. People go to the same gym, right? But I still say you are Jada Pinkett Smith. Okay, you are not, you are not, Bertha from apartment B with no access. You have access to the world. So even if that person is in your proximity, if I'm taking someone in, right, that is half my age because they are broken and depressed and drug addicted. She said herself on the Red Table Talk, I like fixing people. You like fixing people to fuck them. That's what that was. Because I'm not going to let her get away with it. Okay. If I'm taking somebody in and my heart is like, this person is half my age, they're lost, they're drug addicted, they're depressed, they are trying to save their nieces because their sister died. I don't care how close you are to me. I don't care how close you are to me. I am 40 years old. I have access to Jason Momoa. Okay, I'm Jada Pinkett Smith. I have access to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Okay, I have access to Chadwick Boseman. I have access. There's nothing but access. I'm sure that woman has every single freaking Hollywood heartthrob in her phone. So I think some people are just fucking off limits, specifically people that you're helping when they are at rock bottom. Those people are off limits. And I'm incensed about it because it happened to me. Well, and sometimes when you at rock bottom, when you're at rock bottom and you fucked up, let me tell you something. People take advantage of that situation because they know you at 100, they wouldn't stand a fucking chance. They know they wouldn't stand a fucking chance. And that to me is predatory behavior. She had access to whoever she wanted.
Well, I think she still would have had an opportunity with August even at his best, because he would have definitely fucked with Jada on any given day. However, I will agree that I don't care for the predatory behavior of anyone that seeks an opportunity in the midst of someone being down. That's some foul shit. To have to acknowledge, and I think that's part of her issue here, is because hopefully she knows as much psychology as she's been dropping on the red table, that she understands or should understand what she did and the gravity of that situation, especially in the moment that she was in it. So that's why I say it's a hard pill to swallow. That truth is a hard pill to swallow when it's your own. Mm-hmm. So she had issues with being able to acknowledge what she did. I'm sure that she still has issues with that, and rightfully so. You should. I mean, at the end of the day, there is a moral code that you broke. There is a code, period, right, that you broke. Right. So it shouldn't have happened. She got called to the table, her own table, and now the world or the United States or whoever else is dragging her. Right. Rightfully so. So okay, she got to eat this right now.
And I'm gonna read. I promise, I'm gonna read y'all comments in a minute. Another thing is, for as bold as Jada Pinkett is, for as open as she claims to be, right? She punked out because she's having a conversation about someone that wasn't in the room that she has access to. Okay, mm-hmm. She was like, well, I haven't spoken to Og. And then they have the audacity to call him Og. Right?
Like, this is weird.
Right? I haven't spoken to Og, in years, right? Mm-hmm. And we're gonna get into the year shit. Okay. But I think she took the punk way out because she should have had Og on the show to iron it out. Instead of, it's like he told his side, now she's telling her side over here safely at the red table where he can't rebut. And that's a punk move. Another thing I don't like that she did, right? This was years ago. Why now? She really went there. Mi gente. She really went there. This was.
I missed that part. She took the. Why did he come up with this now?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and we'll
keep digging that hole.
And we'll kind of co-sign that, right? But here's my thing. She went there, ladies and gentlemen of the court. Okay, what happens when a woman comes out 20, 30, 40 years later and says, such and such violated me. What happens when someone says, why are you coming up with it now? It's been 20, 30, 40 years. Isn't that the worst fucking possible thing you could tell to someone who's a victim? And by no means am I saying August Alsina was, a rape victim or a victim of any sort. I just think that she took advantage of somebody who was vulnerable. That's it. That's what I'm saying.
He's still feeling it. I mean, why he came out now was because, and we made light, or I did, of him on that interview with Angela Yee, because to me it was comical in some aspects, but I also can take myself out the comedian standpoint and understand that was a dude who was actually pouring his heart out to a woman he actually gave a damn about. He actually cared.
That's what bothers me.
That's a painful place to be in, even for a man to even come out like that. That means you have been deeply hurt by someone that you cared about. So, hey, for him to come out about it now is because that man is still feeling that.
Right.
So I gotta give it to him in that aspect.
Also, what my other issue, because I got like 50 issues on this subject. I'm gonna try to get to a third of them.
We're gonna get to 10 of them.
Okay, we'll get to 10 of them. Another issue I have is that I don't like it when, right? People who have dysfunctional marriages, and Jada will have a very dysfunctional marriage, okay? Even though they get a lot of kudos and credit for, oh my God, you guys have been together for 25 years. Let me tell you something. If I am married and I am fucking who I want to fuck, okay? And my husband is fucking who he wants to fuck, we are not in a traditional marriage. Ever. So why do people say, oh my God, you guys have been together 25 years. If both of you are fucking who you want to fuck, when you want to fuck them, of course you can stay married. Of course. Now show me a marriage. That's been going strong for 25 years and nobody went astray. Then I'm like, oh, you guys are freaking phenomenal. Oh my, this shit is an anomaly. You are amazing. That to me deserves all the credit in the world. And that's not to say, please stop misconstruing my words, because some of you are right? That's not to say that marriages have to be perfect to be good. I am not saying that. People fuck up. But when an entire marriage has been, he does what he wants, she does what she wants, and they just happen to stay together because they're dysfunctional enough to tolerate each other, that to me doesn't deserve a fucking Emmy, Oscar, or Grammy. To me, that's not an award-winning marriage. And also, what they established at that Red Table Talk was that they both fuck around.
Oh yeah, that's
because Will Smith said to her, and you can tell he was a little bothered by her trying to, like, you know what I mean, not just come straight out and say what she did. You could tell he was a little bothered,
of course.
Right? Okay, and he said to her, well, you know I got to pay you back. And then she said, to him, oh, as far as paying me back, I think you did that plenty. And then he said to her, yeah, you're right.
But they've operated, as you just pointed out, they've operated in that type of relationship for 25 years. So that's the Will and Jada way. And a lot of people have praised that without knowing what we know now for sure. Right. They actually confirmed what everybody has always talked about with them. I don't know if they were swingers or they were just, like you just said, in a dysfunctional relationship that they could work with.
Right.
I'm not one of those people that can work in that aspect of, hey, you go fuck who you want to fuck, I go fuck what I want to fuck, and we still call this a marriage. That is not what a marriage is. I'm sorry, I grew up in old traditional values. I have old traditional morals. That's the way I see it. So to any of you that like that kind of shit, hey man, again, welcome to y'all entanglements. It's whatever the fuck you want it to be, but realize what you're in. I think that's the biggest part of any relationship. You need to realize what the fuck you are in. And if that is one of those situations and you're not with it, then hey man, I wish y'all the best, because it's gonna be a hell to pay coming up soon when the reality hits the wall.
And you know, I don't like that people try to normalize dysfunction. And I think that Jada was trying to do that at this Red Table Talk. right?
Oh yeah.
I think she was trying to normalize dysfunction. They literally ended the red table talk with one of these a fist bump and said bad marriage for life. Bad marriage for life, right? And then she goes into this, like, because it's like when people fuck up or they fuck ups, they always try to find some justification, right? No, just say this is some dysfunctional shit, but we love each other. Right, this is our dysfunction that we love each other and we don't recommend it for anybody. But what Jada tries to do, table talk after table talk after table talk, is this line right here. I got to read this line that she said.
Go right ahead.
Okay, this is what she said. Yeah, in any relationship, trying to get to a deeper understanding of love has to be forged in fire. Because you know how she talks, right? So basically, any relationship trying to get to a deeper understanding of love has to be forged in fire. And I guess by her fire, she means, yeah, you got to fuck around sometimes to find out if this is really, really the person you want to be with. It has to be forged in fire. I call bullshit. Strong love, okay, a deeper love, like she said, a deeper bond does not have to be forged in fire. You don't have to be miserable. You don't have to suffer for love. What the fuck is that narrative? What the fuck is that? It's like the ride or die bullshit. Like, oh, if you ride for me, if you put up with this shit, if I go out there and do whatever I want to do and I come back and you take me back, that's love. Who the fuck?
I can understand. Well, and I say that very loosely. I use that word understand very loosely with those who don't have a lot.
What you mean?
Meaning either financially or their life positions, and they choose to just accept people for what they are in the position that they are. These are multimillionaires. Will and Jada. She's not broke.
Right.
So for her to accept that position, or her and Will to accept that position that they have to stay married just for the sake of having that title while they still go fuck around is baffling to me, because y'all could be anywhere doing whatever you want to do with your life with the money that you have made. You're more than capable of doing that.
But you know what's funny? Believe it or not, I think Willow has more sense.
Which is, man,
than Jada, because Willow is very. I'd love to hear Willow's take on this.
You want to hear? No,
because when she talks, she does sound okay. She does sound like an airhead, but when Willow talks, she talks. She's very much, you know what I mean. She's a little feminist in her. She got a little feminist in her. She got a little bit of I ain't having this. You know what I mean when she does talk. Also, let me get to all my issues. I always said, I'll give Will credit for this. I always said that it's easy every time we see like Kobe Bryant, may he rest in peace. Gabrielle Union, Exodi, Ludacris's wife. The names could go on and on of the women who've taken men back after they not only cheated but had babies with their side chicks, right? The list goes on. And I always say that women, right, are always the ones coming out like, you know what, I'm gonna stay with him. And I've always said, man, if a woman did that to a man, he would fucking bounce. He would fuck me. He wouldn't take her back 1 second. He would fucking bounce. But Will actually took her back.
But because why?
You tell me.
It's because he was already fucking off. So I mean, he has to eat that. If Will has been fucking off, and he's been enjoying his life in his world and whatever the pleasures that he wants, how can he look at her and then knock her down for doing the same shit that he's been doing? So
okay, good point. Great point. But come on, we know that dudes are dogs, and then as soon as that woman does it, use a hoe.
Don't do it. Where's your not all? You ain't got it written around here. Not all dudes are dogs.
Not all, but I'm saying that the men that usually operate that way in dog fashion.
Most dudes, and I'll put a percentage on it. This is not factual. I'm gonna say 75% of all dudes would not accept that woman fucking around on them, even after they have fucked around.
Right.
That is a fact. I believe that whole.
Right, but that's why when he said, I got to get you back, and she said, I think you got me back enough. He was like, that's true.
Because he's been doing it, and she's been, I don't know if she's been cool with it. I guess she has to. we have to assume that she's been cool with it or she knew about it, and that's just the way that they've operated. But he got
that little Puerto Rican. He got that little Puerto Rican thing.
Yeah, see, I
forgot her name, but Will got himself that little Puerto Rican thing. That Puerto Rican model.
They might as well go and get your divorce and go on and live your life. Living your best life. Go live your best life the way that y'all really want to. I don't know why you hold on to this title.
I was like, I don't know. Will found himself a little Puerto Rican thing. Jada may be in trouble.
That's why Will like August. Okay, all right.
I really want to get to the comments because people are okay. All right. I see. What's up, William? Jose. He said mentira.
While you look at the comments, keep talking to it.
Yeah, please.
It's I don't know. It's one of those situations where like I was just saying, I think they need to go ahead and get the divorce, or they need to just open up about everything that they really been doing. And then people have to just deal with it the way that they feel like they can accept it, which is still, it doesn't matter what we accept. It's their marriage. They can do whatever the fuck they want to do, however they want to do it for the next 25 years. Just don't have no big 50-year anniversary party because that shit is out the door. Y'all been fucking off.
Right.
Who shows up to that party?
Right. Ivan said he needed a mental health professional at the moment. I totally agree. He needed a mental health professional, somebody who was really in his corner, not somebody who selfishly wanted to feel good, because that's literally what she said. I hadn't felt good in so long. So what she did, her lazy ass was just like, ain't August downstairs in the living room? Let me see what that little boy doing.
Rode the little cart on over to his room.
She sure did. The cart. I know, because they probably have a fucking compound.
Yeah, their house is huge.
Compound.
It's huge. She rode the little cart on over and knocked. Oh, what are you doing?
Okay. Wes Clark said it's a classic nurse-patient syndrome. Fuck out of here. Very, very true. Yep, that's what that was. I'd agree. Stephen Hill, you gotta watch the Red Table Talk. It's only 12 minutes. Trust me, it is entertaining.
Well, she couldn't go no longer. She couldn't allow.
I can't take it no more.
She couldn't allow it to go no longer than 12 minutes.
She was like, I don't like this.
For 6 minutes, she was like, all right, can we tap out? I'm done.
I mean, I love when Will said, when she was like, and then I got into an entanglement. And he was like, no, I think you need to be clear about what happened with Og.
Right.
And he left her no way out. and that's how you do it, right? Red Table Talk. Ron says, a major thing that stood out to me was that she and the family were helping Og with mental issues. It's clear that their relationship has had an effect on his mental health. I truly believe the answer to why now is that he needed to purge for the preservation of his own mental, emotional health.
I get that.
And what's sad is that if you watch the interview with Og and Angela Yee, he still seemed very hurt and broken, right? He was definitely not talking from like, look, this is what happened to me in my past. I'm going to talk about it now. And he looked hurt.
Yes, he did.
He looked hurt, and it didn't look fake. And I listen, 80% of language, communication is nonverbal. It's all body language. And he looked like he was faking. I would have picked it up. He didn't look like he was faking. He looked off.
That was some real. He was giving his real emotion, his real raw emotion. So yeah, he's in. Hopefully, this helps him heal. But he should have been brought on that show.
So Mark Randall says they believe. I guess he's talking about the Smiths. They believe a relationship is an art, not law. That's what they say. So the question is, are relationships free as art, or are they to be ruled by law or something in the middle? Okay. I love that comment.
That's a good question.
Mark, you did it good. Usually you want some bullshit, but today that was great. Okay, gold star for you. I love that. Okay, so the Smiths think they take a relationship as art, not law. But I think there's a thin line, because I think when people get into, first of all, marriage is traditional.
Period.
Right?
I'm gonna just speak my piece, but go ahead.
Okay, yes. Because I think people that are artful and fluid about sex and relationships, they don't do the traditional, I vow forever till death do us part, yada, 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 bloop-de-bloop-de-bloop. What they do is they get into relationships and tell the other person across the table, I like to fuck around. I've been told that.
Mm-hmm.
I like to fuck around. I'd love to date you, but I've never been faithful or loyal to anyone. A man has looked at me and told me that, and I said, thank you. I respect you for saying that and being frank. I don't want to be a part of that. Is that okay? He was like, okay, we can remain friends. I think people who truly see sexuality as fluid in art, they don't commit or say they're going to commit to one person. So so there's a very, very thin line. I think people want the tradition of marriage, right? And the illusion of monogamy because it sounds good, but then they really want to do them. And then when they get caught, they throw that art shit at you. We're not traditional. This is, we're artsy, we're fluid, right? And to me, it's like you can't have it both ways, because if I hear you two are married and you took vows, right, for loyalty and honesty, and then y'all fucking around, you can't come back at me and say that it's fucking art. You're assholes who wanted to both sides of the fucking pie.
I'm gonna jump in on that piece right there. Again, if you go back to the clip, because I'm gonna make sure I said it right. So if relationships are free as art, that's exactly, then to me, you cannot call it a marriage. Or even to me, a committed relationship. Art is free flowing. It's very sporadic at times. It's whatever you feel in that moment. And so that is not a marriage. That is not a relationship. You cannot go out and do whatever the fuck you want to do at any given moment in a traditional relationship or marriage. And
I think that's why. And you know what? Jada's slick. And let me tell you, I'm a fan. I love Jada. I don't think I don't love Jada. I love her. But she just, you can call out your girlfriend. You's a slick bitch. You know why? I'm going to tell you why. Because the last time she spoke about their marriage, she was like, oh, me and Will decided this is going to be a partnership of love. She knew that shit was going to leak, and she was trying to get ahead of it.
How long ago did she say that?
It wasn't that long. Nisha, how long ago was that? Remember when Jada was like, oh, we're a partnership. We realized that we're a partnership and we're never going to break up as a partner. It wasn't that long ago.
Okay.
It was shortly before August.
She saw it coming.
Right. She saw it coming.
She got word of it was coming.
Right. So then that way, because, if y'all didn't know, talk shows, whether it's The Breakfast Club, whether it's TMZ, anything that has to do with gossip in Hollywood, the big wigs, say like the Smiths, the Kardashians, anybody who's really, really A-list celebrity, TMZ, The Breakfast Club will contact that celebrity. They have insiders that will say, look, we're about to drop this story on you. And that celebrity, because they have money, can control the story. Or they can stop the story. So I think that's why Jada came out and was like, oh, it's a partnership. Now, that way, when this comes out, she could say, well, we had decided to be partners anyway, remember? Right? That's a punk move. Use a punk. Also, we'll go. Did you finish addressing?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
It's hot in this little studio.
It is. Don't be talking about my little studio. This is my little. You need a fan? Just admit it. I'm caliente.
Yeah, all the time.
Ron says, thanks for correcting my typos. No problem. I read typo. Trust me. I read typo. Ivan said he was definitely flustered. Will said they will never get a divorce. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Walter Matthew says, when things didn't work out in my marriage, we decided to end it and keep it moving. It wasn't any fire to forge. The fire burnt out and the love is gone. It's gone. When the love is gone, it's gone. Okay, so apparently they know how to love each other, and no matter what.
They know how to love each other in hell, apparently.
Right. Oh, okay. Oh, remember I was complimenting Mark for having that great. He said that came from Will Smith, not me. That's why. That figures.
Oh,
I take my star back.
You got to leave it there.
David said the thing has layers to it. It's not as simple as social media tried to make it out to be. Thank both of you for pulling back those layers. I'm seeing the humanity of all parties involved. Thank you, David. Scott Aaron, our resident favorite white boy. Scott, you got competition with Mark. It's like Eminem and my boy, what's his name? Machine Gun Kelly. Y'all my white boys. Okay. Yeah, my pink crew. All right, so
my ex must have been artistic as fuck.
Oh shit!
Oh, that's a good one.
He said, "Man, man, my ex must have been artistic as fuck. Yeah, she must have
I'll
been.
tell you. And he took the word. I was gonna say it too. Van Gogh. I'm telling you, it's a lot of artistic motherfuckers out in these streets these days.
David Dillon said mine too. Oh, raggedy.
I'm telling y'all, man, these streets is wild right now.
So I think, right, and obviously the Smiths have been strained. You know what I mean? It's like they got married young, but I think that you know, the way they got together, in my opinion, was built on quicksand, or at least not quicksand entirely, but at least built on something that was not going to be monogamous or stable. Because the way they got together was, right, the person, long story short, Will was interested in Jada. Will went somewhere where Jada was to meet her. Then he met his first wife. Then he saw his first wife and said, wait a minute, who's that? And then he literally was like, fuck meeting Jada. I want to meet this woman. That is exactly how it happened. I am not making it up. Will said it. Will said it. Jada said it. His wife Cherie said it. Everybody said it. That is how it happened. Will was interested in Jada. Then he saw Cherie and was like, fuck this Jada shit. I want that. And then Will married that. And then that got sick of Will and said, I want a divorce. And Will said, you're not divorcing me. And peep this science. Will told Cherie, you're not divorcing me. I'm not going to fail. I came from a broken home. I want this marriage. And Cherie told him, why would you want to hold on to someone that does not love you anymore? That shit is profound. Doesn't that cut deep? Listen to me, fellas. A woman looks you in the face and says, why would you want to hold on to someone that doesn't love you anymore? I mean, if someone tells you that, there is nowhere to go. So Will said that is when he realized, I have to let this woman go. And what did he do? What did he do?
He doubled back.
He doubled back to that little old thing he remembered. He called Jada on the phone. Again, not my rumors. Jada said it. Will said it. He called her on the phone out of the blue and said, hey, Jada, what's up? Where are you? She was like, oh, I just bought a little farm. I'm taking a break from acting and I'm down here. And he was like, okay, cool. So who you seeing? And she was like, well, I'm not seeing anybody. And Will Smith said, verbatim, pack your shit, come out to LA because now you're seeing me. That is how Jada and Will got together. How romantic, no? Qué romántico es el hombre. Qué romántico. Okay? So he told Jada, you are now seeing me, pack your shit and come out to LA. Now you seeing me, right? Now, Jada, because it's Will Smith making that call, she was like, well, I don't want to go, but it's Will Smith. I'm packing all my shit. I don't really want this farm any damn way. He said, come the hell on. And he just bought my ticket. I'm leaving, mama. I'll see you later, right? That's what she did. So a relationship that started that way, you already know what the dynamic is going to be. He didn't have to work for it. He made a phone call. She jumped on a flight and was out. So it's like, you know, and I'm sure that was the theme of their marriage. Another thing, I think the problem with Will was not so much that she fucked around, right? Because like you said, he's been doing it, you know what I mean? And he got that hot little Puerto Rican thing. I gotta throw that out there again.
I like how you keep throwing that off in there. It's like it's a PSA for Puerto Ricans, but go ahead.
So I'm just saying he got that new little Puerto Rican thing. Okay, so I don't think it's that he fucked around. I mean, she fucked around so much as who it was, because he, not just Jada, but he also took this little boy in. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm calling him a little boy. Early 20s to me is a little boy. I got nephews that age. You a little boy to me, right? So he also took him in. So that means to say that, you know, I would think Og was living on the compound. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. He was eating off of the Will Smith empire. You know what I mean? Will was, you know, footing the bill for probably flights and housing and food. So basically, like, they brought the puppy home and then Jada fucked the puppy that Will was taking care of. So I think that's why Will said very blatantly to Jada, I was done with you. And I think that's why it is. I don't think it's that because she fucked around. I think it's who she fucked around with.
You can't do it in the house. What they say?
Don't shit where you eat.
Exactly.
Don't shit where you eat.
And that has to hurt his ego as well tremendously. So
right.
but again, it's one of those situations where he has to somewhat eat that because he's been doing what he's been doing. However, you better believe that even though they said, "Oh, I'm gonna get you back," "Oh, you already have," "Yeah, you're right," guarantee that dude the next flight out is to that little Puerto Rican you keep talking about.
Puerto Rican.
And so
he on his way to his little Puerto Rican thing
so
right now.
it's one of those situations where his ego is damaged,
Mm-hmm.
and he have to get that loving out that Puerto Rican to fix it.
Mm-hmm. We fix though. We fix.
Is that what happens?
We fix.
Okay, you also stab too.
We fix that too.
Okay, well,
act like you don't know.
Okay, there you go.
So, I want to feel good. Jada hit us with the "I wanted to feel good." She really did. She hit us with the "I wanted to feel good."
Well, I guess everybody has to feel good in their own way. She just decided not to travel out the house to get it.
So Will wasn't laying pipe in between the flights of little Puerto Rico.
Again, here's the reality for y'all's ass. Is that it doesn't matter what you're getting at home, especially when you have a lifestyle outside of that, then everything becomes enjoyable. So she might have enjoyed it. He might have enjoyed it when they were together, but they also had other side ventures that they enjoyed as well. And that waters down your ability to truly appreciate who you're with.
Oh, say that again.
So yeah, there it is.
Say that again.
What did I say?
Listen, it is about watering down who you're with. This right here is a gem. Listen to that.
If you are enjoying other shit outside of your relationship, outside of the people the person that you are claiming to love, when you are with them in whatever moment, if y'all live together, if you don't live together, in those moments that y'all together, that shit is now watered down because you're spending so much time spreading the wealth. So I mean, stop again. Find what kind of relationship you're in, and know that, because that's going to make your life exponentially better when you realize the situations that you are in.
I also think that Jada is in your very traditional. I'm living a lavish lifestyle. This man has afforded me every luxury in the world. You know what I mean? I have Cartier on speed dial. She's spoken about, all the luxury she has. I think she's the traditional, I am a wealthy woman married to a wealthy man, and he's going to stray, and I'm going to put up with this shit. I just think that she tries to make it deeper than that.
Yeah, just keep it at what it is. At this point in everybody's life, everybody should keep the shit at what it is, because somebody's going to accept it the way you are giving it to them. So I ain't no need for them right now at this particular point, especially after the 12-minute red table talk. We know that the stories are true to some degree. And so now, hey, y'all, go live your Will and Jada life, and everybody will get over this in a week or so. We'll be talking about something else probably 2-3 days from now, and they can do whatever they want to, but know what you are getting into in your relationships with people. You ain't got $1 million. So half the people watching this probably don't have $1 million at their disposal. We don't have that access to just fuck off and then have the same person be at home when we get there. So I whatever, Will and Jada, y'all have a good time. That ain't the lifestyle I'm with.
I just don't like the preaching of dysfunction as normalcy. I don't like it. Like, don't fucking get on your red table talk, right? Don't do that shit and preach to women that is how they have to receive love. That shit I don't like. Don't get on your red. To me, it's irresponsible and some punk shit, because you want to bring other people into your dysfunction. If that was me and I had a fucking red table talk, I would be like, look, this shit works for me. Do not think, young women out there, impressionable young women, vulnerable women, do not fucking think that you have to stay with a dude that's fucking around, or that you have to fuck around because you're miserable and you need to feel good because there's money involved. Because that is a bad message to give, especially to young women and to young men, because the one who got caught up this time was August.
That is true.
He was a young, vulnerable man. So to me, it's stay your dysfunctional ass over there and celebrate that, but don't red table talk everybody into thinking, hey, if it's not forged in fire, it ain't real. And it can't be love because you're full of shit. It's just like misery wants company. Like, you fucked around too and you stayed with him. See, that's how it works. No, that's how Jada and Will work. And I don't think it's fair to put that on other people.
You have to do exactly what you just said. If that is going to be your lifestyle, and especially in this social media driven world, with everybody, a lot of people being so impressionable about taking information and running with it as their foundation as to how they should live their life, that you have to put out some form of disclaimer that says, this works for me. This may not work for you, but this works for me. And then allow people to deal with their relationship however they see fit.
Right.
Because I'm telling y'all, if y'all get into this whole, Will and Jada ain't the only ones out there doing this. This happens in a plethora of lives and people's lives currently. So it's not going to work for everybody. Figure out.
And it's dangerous.
It's a very dangerous situation.
It's dangerous because some of you are not going to have the cushion of $100 million to fall back on. Okay, that's why people get killed. Okay, some of you are not going to have
ideas on there every day,
every fucking day. Like you're not going to get some of you, the majority of you, right?
Majority.
It's a pity happy y'all won't make it at a hip hop Tourette's.
Okay.
At a hip hop Tourette's, sorry. But the majority of people are not going to have the cushion of let me go cheat or he cheated on me. It's okay because I'm gonna jump on his helicopter and go to Hawaii. Right? So be very careful, all right? Don't let these people dictate what love is supposed to be and what relationships are supposed to be. You got somewhere to be? You checking your phone?
Yeah, I got skits to do.
All right, no. well, we almost out of here. We didn't make even the whole hour. But yeah, don't fall for the bullshit that pain is supposed to be a part of love. With that said, no, relationships are not going to be perfect, but they don't require pain, no matter what anybody tells you. They do not require pain. They may suffer. They may suffer some pain, but they don't require pain. Get that shit out your head, mi gente. Don't listen to that Jada and Will shit. They got $500 million to fuck off with, okay?
Well, if you still hopping on Spirit Airlines, then you probably don't want to be fucking off too many times.
If that's all you can afford, right?
You don't do it.
It's not.
Greyhound still operate. Greyhound still operate. I haven't seen it in a while.
I haven't heard of Greyhound since I was transporting guns.
Who is it? Megabus. Flix. Flix is another one that's out there.
Yeah.
You hop on Flix.
It's been a while for me. Greyhound.
Yeah, I haven't hopped on a bus in a while, but I'm saying if you are in any type of those relationships that require you to hop on a Flix or a Spirit or a Frontier, then you probably want to just either stay single and enjoy the life you're fucking off, or just realize that your relationship status is on the tilts
right.
of being truly fucked up.
Let me read this comment. This may be the last one. Also, guys, if you ever want to be on the panel, please feel free. I always say drop your email in the comments or DM me your email if you are serious about coming on. Because a lot of you suckers tell me, a lot of you, I want to be on the panel. 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 And then when the day comes, you're like, oh, what happened was, right, I had to clip my toenails.
They're scared of you.
Right? They ain't got to be scared. All right. I need other perspectives on the panel. I'm not
y'all come on the show. Y'all should come. Y'all should. So you supporting on the block. Y'all might as well come on the block.
Oh, speaking of support, I got a Cash App, and I know y'all see it. Don't act like y'all don't see it, because the shit been scrolling by the past hour. I got a Cash App. Hilarious. If you want to support any of my productions, I am also a filmmaker and a writer. So the more money I have, the more funds I will have to produce my projects. Feel free to throw a couple bucks in the On the Block with Jen Cash App. It's right there. Don't act like y'all ain't see it. Like the collection plate that passes in the church. Like, oh, I don't see it. You see it.
You let the people get to coughing and passing it over.
Right. Let me see. Ron Donovan says, we are still discussing their issues from a traditional perspective. I truly think the layers of this relationship transcend what most can even conceptualize. Ron, transcend. I know. Ooh, he hit you. Yeah. Okay. Ron is a shoe designer, a very good shoe designer, gentlemen. Gentlemen, so check out his shoes, really dope. And he's Black owned.
There you go.
Black owned. Ron, I totally get what you're saying, but the only you're right. But the only reason we're discussing it from a traditional perspective is because marriage is traditional. Is it not? Like marriage is traditional. Like woman meets boy, boy asks woman to marry him, and then they get married. That's traditional. That's a traditional practice. Mm-hmm. What's not traditional is, hey, I am fluid. Are you fluid too? I want to be fluid. I don't want to do the tradition of marriage. But going up in a church like Jada and Will did, saying, I vow. You vow too, me too, I do. That is steeped in tradition.
It is.
That's tradition. So that is the only reason we're talking about it from a traditional perspective. Now, we were talking about two people who are dating. This wouldn't be a conversation.
No.
Because we would be like, well, them motherfuckers aren't married and they always messing around anyway. Like, it's like talking about, what's his name? What's his name? That ugly guy from the Love and Hip Hop who has like 10 baby mothers. Peter Gunz, right? If we were talking about Peter Gunz, there wouldn't be a conversation. Because Peter Gunz literally, like everybody he meets and dates, ends up pregnant.
Wow.
Right? So if we were talking about Peter Gunz here, there'd be no conversation. But when two people are preaching marriage and we've been together for 25 years. No, you haven't been together. Everybody who's been around y'all been with y'all.
Yeah, I told you shit, man.
Everybody that's been around. It hasn't just been y'all. Don't lie. All right, y'all haven't been together. You and everybody y'all chose to be with were together in that marriage. Yep. Let's keep it 100.
That's most definitely. I agree with that. And in relationships, that's not this relationship transcends. That transcends. I may want to make sure I understand the definition of transcends. That means to go above. Correct.
Yes, like it's deeper than marriage. It's further out than marriage.
People been fucking off for years. This ain't transcending nothing. This ain't nothing new. So it ain't transcending, in my opinion. It's the normal. It's just at a higher dollar amount.
Right.
So that's all this is.
I just think that it's still bullshit, but Jada wants to put a pretty bow on it. Yeah. But it's just like I said before, she wants to put a pretty bow on basically, what Vanessa Bryant went through, or like I said, Sodi, or Gabrielle Union, or you know what I mean? All the women who stay in marriages where there are millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars in luxury. Jada's the same shit. It's just when she gets on Red Table Talk, right? She puts a pretty bow on it. But it's just basically a woman who's living a very luxurious life, and her man's gonna fuck around and she's gonna stay. So that's why I say it doesn't transcend. It's actually very, very normal for Hollywood.
Of course.
It is very, very normal for Hollywood. At least Ruby D and Ozzie Davis said we are in an open marriage.
They claimed it. And Ricky Burns just said something. He said, but it works for them and other swinger couples. And I think you may have missed. I don't know if you were on there, Ricky. I think
Ricky, you late.
Here's the thing: is it can work for people who want to be swingers and who want that lifestyle, who want to be married yet still fuck off. It can work for that person. But if you can't say, "Hey, we swingers, we're not this, but we're gonna live our life a certain way," and then claim to have traditional values. That's the point that's actually being made. So call it what it is. Is that if you're swingers, that's what you are. If y'all like to fuck off, that's what you are. But then stop trying to sell traditional values to traditional people, because it gets people's mind fucked up as to where's the line of traditional in this aspect.
And then Ricky said he was very late. You missed it, Ricky. And then when shit like this happens, you get dragged.
Of course. So welcome to the dragon, Jada. This is your time on the hot seat. But as you say, everything's forged in fire, right? So you're gonna be okay.
It's forged in fire. I ain't forging shit. I ain't forging shit in fire. I'll stab you. Timothy said, Ron said your perspective of traditional marriage is definitely my perspective. Yeah. Timothy said Jada been messy since a different world and Piccolo. What the hell's Piccolo? Ron Donovan said not transcend as in better, transcend as in doesn't fit into our perspective. Okay.
That makes sense.
All right. Ricky said he's really late. Ricky said we've heard for the longest that they were like that. But they've always like played it off. Like they always went against, like, we're not in no marriage. We're not. And it's like, it's Hollywood. We don't give a damn, but they were trying to sell the image, and now the image blew up in their face. So they had to address it. And now moving forward, when we hear she's fucking around and Will's fucking around, it's not a story.
Exactly.
It's not a story. It's just, finally, don't you feel better? It's what they do. Although I still say Jada punk move. She didn't have on there. She didn't have August on there so he could speak for himself. Okay. And 2, she couldn't even form the words, yes, this is what I did. She went every which way but.
She did.
Every which way but. Right? And come on, Jada. And also, I'm gonna end on this note unless I get a really amazing comment. Timothy Moore said Piccolo is an old boyfriend from Baltimore. Ricky Burns said, but they still have love for each other. Their sexual life doesn't have to be out there. Well, they put it out there.
Yeah, they put it out. They put it out there.
They put it out there. Everybody had their teacups out. May I have some more? I lost my train of thought. This is good. Talk.
I don't know. Hey, listen, people.
This is what I said. Okay. Okay, so what I was gonna say was Punk moved because she didn't have August Alsina on there. She couldn't really commit to, I fucked around with this young vulnerable boy. She didn't commit to it. That's fucked up. Right. And lastly, she went the route of, because I'm trying to find myself. Bitch! How old is Jada Pinkett? Nisha, how old is Jada Pinkett? She gotta be like my age. Yeah. She's in her 40s. So it seems like every time something goes wrong, right? It's like I'm trying to find myself. And I was still trying to find, you was trying to find yourself on top of a child who was vulnerable. And I know he was in his early 20s, but he was vulnerable. He's a child to us. He is. Right? He's a young boy. Don't try to find yourself on top of somebody that's vulnerable and broken down. That to me is fucked up. And she hit you with that. She hit you with that the red table talk again. Okay. I was trying to find myself, and I didn't, I was hurting, and I was, a lot of her conversations was I. Right? I needed to find myself. I needed to feel good. Right? I needed the attention. So, but what about what August needed? That went out the window. You know what I mean? Once you looked at him and said, I wonder what that mouth do. Nej.
Go right there, buddy.
My grandbaby just walked in. That's my cue to wrap up. My grandbaby just walked in.
The producer of the show came in.
Yes, the boss of the house, 4 years old, just walked in. So that is my cue to wrap up. I want to thank you immensely for joining me. I want to thank you immensely for your comments. You guys always rock. You are hilarious. Please come on the panel. We're going to do this again really, really soon. This is all love. We keep it real on the block. If you're on the block when you're on the stoop, I was going to keep it real. Yusef is one of the Central Park 5, the black and brown little boys that were accused of raping the Central Park jogger. That is who Yusef is. Yusef, Kevin, Antron, Corey, and Raymond. Yeah, that is who Yusef is, in case you were wondering. It probably is an Arab name, Ahmed. Yeah. All right, guys. So thank you so much. Cynthia said, I wonder what that mouth do. Baby walks in. He sure did. He was like, you know what? End the conversation. All right, guys, man. I love you all. This was fun. Please share this. Hit share and hit watch party. I'm sure your timeline will be entertained by this one. We will do this again. See, sometimes we can lighten the mood and have fun. We could get back to the race wars tomorrow that are fucking exhausting.
They'll be there.
All right, guys. So, peace, mucho, mucho amor, in the words of Walter Mercado. All right, guys. Bye. This was fun, right?
It was.
Mm-hmm. You didn't get cut.